Welcome, guys, to Hate It or Love It. Today, we got a value-packed, jam-packed episode for you. We got Zach with Recovery Room here, due to the legend in Old Town Scottsdale and in Scottsdale right now. How much did you donate to Maui? How much money?
Yeah, we generated a lot of money in many different avenues. We did clothing drive.
Yep.
We sent off over 10 boxes now.
Okay.
And the shipping gets pretty hefty on that. It was a couple $1,000s to ship out there. But I had a couple of beautiful moments where in the FedEx and people are like, where are you sending all those boxes to? I'm like, well, to Maui. They're like, we want to help you with this. And people just were walking up and giving us money at the counter. It was really cool to see that there's people that have a good heart. And it's been really painful for me seeing my family go through this, but also now we have all this news coming to light about what really was the motive.
Yeah.
And now I want to do the right thing and get money to people that need it. And there's barriers and there's people on the mainland are like, what's going on over there? I don't know if I trust where my my money's going. And I totally understand that. So it's created a very complex situation. At the end of the day, the Native Hawaiians and the people of Hawaii need the help.
Oh, yeah.
And they were the victims. And my heart is always in my home. Even if I'm here, like Hawaii is like everything that I am. So
you're from there.
I'm from there. Yeah.
So before we hop off this, you tell me this. A lot of people sending stuff over there, was it actually reaching the families?
Yeah. So
not for you, but like other organizations like Red Cross, all that stuff.
Besides people I care about, I had a lot of really good contacts to where I knew they would get the supplies to people in need. And that's why I went that route. And as far as donations, we put a donation for people to just do it on their own on our IG. That was one that we believed in. And then the other one that we did was just to help with shipping.
Okay.
And I had some people step up and help us from American Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines, which is cool. So
yeah, because I was seeing some headlines. I follow some. I'm kind of in the middle, but I follow some conservative headlines, and I was seeing that like people weren't getting the donations, or the people in the island weren't seeing the money. But as soon as I saw you do it, I knew 100%. I'm like, oh, bro, I know you're gonna get the stuff that people need over in Maui. Like exactly what they need. So I appreciate for you doing that. But that's one of like many things that you do that literally makes you a legend here. So how long have you been in Arizona? When did you move over here?
I've been here 22 years now. Came over to be a fireman. I was testing to get on the fire department, and I got hired out here in Phoenix.
Okay.
And I had come out here and all of my dream of being a fireman. My goal was actually always to go home to Honolulu, where I'm from, and work there. And I actually did get hired back home in Hawaii. And my wife and I at the time had a daughter that passed away actually the week that we were moving. So we had all our stuff in a box and boxes and stuff. And we went through all that. And
that's hard, bro.
Yeah. So that was on many scales, my child, and, my childhood dream of working for Honolulu Fire was that I had to say no to that, and they understood. But it hurt a lot having to turn that down. But I believe I'm a big believer in God, and he had a different plan for me. And I think kind of what I'm doing now was his plan. So I'm at what he wants me to do. So
did you train out there in what island were you in?
I'm from Oahu.
Oahu. Yep. So did you train at Oahu when they send you out here to Arizona, or how?
No, fire doesn't really work like that. Like fire, they train you when they hire you. They'll put you through an academy.
Okay.
So it's really just getting through the testing process, getting the chiefs and everyone to want you to be a part of the family. And then you get hired, and then they put you through academy, and you got to get through all that. And then you go on a probation for a year, where you're under strict rules, like early at the station, cleaning the toilets, doing all the terrible, mopping the bays, cleaning the truck, but every single person has to do it. So, you're not special, and you're not, you
don't get privileged.
You're not privileged. We all get the same treatment. So
that's good.
I like that.
Okay, so, how so you ended up getting a job here as, in the fire department. What, was it in Phoenix or
Mhm.
okay. So how was that? How long were you, with the fire department?
It was a really, my total career, so I did 10 years out, in the East Valley in a different
Okay.
city, and then I got on with the big dog, and, I was with them for 13 years almost.
Wow.
So a total of 22
Yeah.
as a
Amazing.
fireman. Um, really, really great career. Saw a lot of different things, experienced a lot of different things,
Okay.
good and bad. You know what I mean? But it shaped me as an individual, and
That's good, man.
everything in life's, you can take positive things out
Eh,
of
man,
it.
I'm a firm believer that, like, everything happens for a reason, and, I have a feeling that, like, a couple of things you learned from being in the fire department, you were able to grab those, skills, habits, and apply them to your business. So, like, what kinda things did you learn from the fire department and able to apply them to your new business, right? And then we'll kinda get into how you started Recovery Room.
The three things, foundations of my life would be God, would be fire. I took a lot of things out of, and
Okay.
jujitsu. Like
Yeah.
jujitsu is, it's a huge foundation of my life.
Really? Okay.
I can get into that in a little bit. Fire taught me how to be accountable, taught me how to, I became regimen, but s- being regimen day in and day out, the people that succeed, they're regimen individuals. When you
Okay.
hear about Kobe Bryant, or you
Yeah.
heard every day shooting 1,000 shots in those people succeed. You have to put the work in. So,
Mhm.
uh, I am a personality that thrives on routine, and so the fire service was a match for me in that
Good.
way. So
Yeah.
I come in and I know what it needs to be done, and if it's not done, you will be held accountable for
Yeah.
that, just like the military or
Yeah.
anything else. So I was an individual that needed that as far
That's
as
good.
habitual line stepper.
So is that, like, do you apply that to your current business now, like,
Yeah,
the habits and that regimen? Like, what does that look like
absolutely.
in at Recovery Room?
I was having a chat today with a client of ours I was giving an IV to, who was ex-military, and I was talking about that. And I notice a lot of people open businesses and they go, awesome, I have freedom now, and I'm gonna go to Bali and take all these cool and like travel around the world, and I'm gonna let my
Yeah.
staff just handle it. You will not grow, in my opinion, and people won't develop a connection with you and your business. I believe that they do want to connect with the owner, because it's your project and your passion, right?
Yep.
And the people that you implement in your business are an extension of you. So they want to see that. And
Exactly.
so when you're getting it off the ground the first couple of years, your whole heart has to go into it.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And I do see some people that they're just like a couple months in, all right, and they're just living a great life. And I see those businesses unfortunately not succeed as much. So
I mean, there's a reason why not every business becomes successful. Um, I think that when people go into business, they don't realize that they're creating another job for themselves, and they have to learn this is where I'm at. I literally, create another job for myself once I quit my 6 years at the coffee shop.
mhm.
So I'm young, went to college, dropped out. I've been working at the coffee shop Dutch Bros for 6 years, and after 6 years, I'm like, I don't like it when people tell me no, so I quit, started my company. I literally didn't get paid for a whole year. I didn't make any money my first year of having a business, which sucked because, my wife, like, God bless her, she paid all the bills. She's like, it felt like for the longest time, because like, bro, like, you're a man, and, as a man, you feel like you have to, like, really, like, kinda be head of household and,
Sure.
like, keep all the money coming in.
Yeah.
But for a year, bro, like, I mean, I'd get, like, 500 bucks here and there, but, now what was that, 2021? That's not paying for anything. No, so
I feel so bad. I having a daughter and knowing people that are younger than me, the struggles that you guys are facing financially. I mean, when I was in my early 20s and I had moved here,
mhm.
Scottsdale was ridiculously cheap. It
Really?
was I
Scottsdale,
lived
Arizona?
well, because I'm from Honolulu. I
Yeah.
mean, when in the late 90s, I was paying $3,000 for an apartment.
Bro.
I moved out here
Dang.
and I had 2 buddies that moved with me in my first apartment, right over next to my clinic, ironically. It's funny how life goes around, and
Yeah.
was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath was $850 a month. I was living like a
Woo.
king,
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous. And now it's, I mean, I can't believe how expensive it is here now. It's wild. And I
Yeah.
really hurt for younger people, and I understand why they start getting this mindset of college doesn't mean I'm gonna have wealth.
Oh,
You know, I watched my parents work a pension job and work for benefits, and they ended up getting divorced. So the younger people seem to have a different mindset. They either
yeah.
live a lot for today and making memories, or how can I make the most money efficiently? And I listen, I understand, I get it. And that
Yeah.
was, you know, I never aspired to be an entrepreneur or own a business or anything. I had read like everybody else, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it really resonated with me because he's from Hawaii, Robert
Oh, I
Kiyosaki,
didn't know that. Okay.
or Richard
Never read
Kiyosaki.
that book,
Yeah.
actually.
And his mom and dad were like mine. They worked state of Hawaii. My
Yeah.
dad and my his dad was a teacher and his mom stayed or something. Either way, I grew up in the same exact household, and you just start to kind of realize like for me to really get ahead in financial freedom, the way is kind of like he said, having businesses and working for yourself.
Exactly.
And it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of your time, but in the end you
A lot of time.
definitely you can do good if you put your heart into it, and you s- you stay by your values.
Mhm.
I think is the main thing. We all know businesses where you can tell their driver is financial, like making
Oh,
money, right?
yeah.
And you don't connect with them as much.
Mhm.
That's why I think America has always had a love for small businesses, because it's the mom and pop that own it, and you have a feeling of family. We know, all of us know a pizza place like that, or there's a place here in Old Town, Crust Pizza. Those guys,
Cross pizza?
Crust,
Crust pizza? Is,
or I'm sorry, Crisp, right
crisp
over
pizza.
by Chop Shop, right?
Shout out crisp pizza.
These guys, man, like everything, their ingredients are all
Really?
hand-picked tomatoes,
Yeah.
the basil, everything. And, amazing. And
Okay.
it's
I'm good. Try
way
them out. Yeah.
easier to connect with a place like that for me versus a big chain.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Also, Pizza Hut sucks, bro.
and I know the heart
Yeah.
and soul the guy puts into his place. I mean, so for me, that I connect with that. And amazingly enough, you were talking about being the head of household with your wife. Of course, I know that. When my daughter passed away, we had gotten pregnant again with my daughter now,
Mhm.
and my ex-wife was, look, I'm going to stay home this next 2 years with our daughter. And I fully understood, but I had a lot of income I had to make up.
Yeah.
She had made really good money.
Mhm.
And I actually had started the golf cart thing in Old Town.
That was you?
This was years ago. And
Whoa.
I'm not claiming any, I'm just saying that I bought a golf cart.
You're a part of the culture.
I was hitting
Yeah.
the street. I was the first one out there. And then obviously someone was smart and put hot girls on there, which is a way better
Yeah.
idea than having a guy on there. But I actually did really well out there, like on the side of fire. I was out there and I would just do tips only.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, like connecting with everybody. And
So you, not to cut you off, but you would do fire during the day and you do golf carts at night to
Yeah.
make up the money?
yeah, so the fire
Wow.
schedule is 24 on, 48 off. So
Okay.
you work 10 24-hour shifts a month. And yeah, it was brutal, man. Like, but I had obligations that I had
Yeah.
to take care of. And you know, for any person that has little ones at home, that's going to be some of the more challenging times in your life. And man, when you're a fireman, you're doing 24-hour shifts and you come home and it's like your wife had been home all day with the baby the day before. She's like, your turn.
Yeah.
You're like, I was just up all night.
Yeah. You know
But-
what? Do you listen to Ed Milet?
At my what?
Ed Milet?
No, I don't think.
Great guy. I was listening to his podcast yesterday, and there's something that I caught from that. And he's like, all the work, and for me, like I don't have a kid yet, but all the work I'm doing now is for like the person I don't know is gonna reap the benefits from that. And I took that to heart because I'm just like, wow, I'm like busting balls out here, like really working hard. Like these last 2 weeks, I've literally been 14, 16-hour days.
Yep.
Grinding. I think I was literally editing a video for you at 1 a.m. last night because I couldn't go to bed. It's not your fault. It's like
I feel bad now.
No, don't feel bad. I love this stuff, bro. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. Like, are you kidding me? Like I wouldn't do this if I didn't love it. Like, I'm not gonna go make coffee at 1 a.m. No, I don't love that. I love this. But
Mhm.
anyways, as I was making this video, I'm like, I'm doing this for my future kid because my future, like, I'm building my company so that when I have a kid, like, I know I can give him all the attention and love. Because I don't know if you knew this, but my dad, when he had me, he was 79, and for being a 79-year-old dad, so his 80s, his 80s, right? Our president is in his 80s, and he's not doing good.
Right.
Um, my dad was in his
To say
80s.
the least.
Yeah, he's sleeping half the
That's
time.
another
Yeah,
subject. I'll stay out of.
my dad was in his 80s and he was taking care of a child. And if you're a parent now, a kid between the ages 0 and 10, it's a lot of work. I'd assume. I don't know, but I'd assume it's a lot of work. And he kept up like nothing. And I'm just like, that's
Inspiring.
that's awesome, and I love him for that. But also, after the age of 11, I didn't see him. He was in California, and my brothers taking care of him. So I want to make sure when I have my kid, I can be there. Like, I would like to be a great great grandpa or a great grandpa and see the rest, of
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of why I literally work so hard in that. And this is just what you said just kind of took me back to that. I'm just like, yeah, I am working hard for my kids, or even like people in my family that I don't know yet, or people that I don't know yet right now. Like, I may pick up an employee that really needs something I can give them. I just don't know them yet, right? And I'm not there yet, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm working so hard because I just want to be a giver, bro.
Everything I do is for my daughter.
Yeah.
100%. Like what we just spoke on with the economy, and I really hope it's not bad when she gets older, but I am trying to do everything that I can to secure her so she can have as minimal amount of stress as possible and enjoy her life.
Bro, I
You
mean,
know?
I personally, from the outside looking in, what time do you open?
9 a.m.
Okay, it's 9 a.m. We're shooting this at 1 p.m. right now, but at 12 o'clock, this guy he sends me a text message. He goes 40 IVs. So in 3 hours, you've done 40 IVs, which, like on average, like other IV groups, other IV clinics around here, like, are they doing those numbers or are you above that?
I don't know. I think we're doing really good.
Because, bro,
I'm
like,
proud of what we're building,
yeah, man, that's
and
dope.
the people that work for us, they're like my family. I
Yeah,
love
I can
the
see it.
girls. Like some of the girls that I work with every day, they're like some of my best friends, which is
Yeah,
crazy. So uh, that's like the coolest feeling to have people that work for you that are like some of your best friends in life, and we just have a lot of fun.
you
And
have
I
a good
think
crew.
people know we have a fun environment.
Yeah.
We have a great mix of people.
Well, you can feel. Have you ever been to a restaurant and you're like, dang, that server and that cook, they're like fighting, and now my food tastes bad. Like, I can feel
Can.
the energy.
Yeah.
So when you walk into your recovery room, it's like light, it's cool, like your AC is cranking. I don't know, but it's cool. I'm just like, this place is dope. Everyone's in a good mood. I've never walked in there and I'm just like, I feel bad vibes. It's always good vibes, right? And also, I think spiritually, like, as a man of God, I think that has something to play with it too. Like, it's a good spot, bro.
I
And
listened to our
yeah,
pastor Travis one day talking about tithing, and I was raised Catholic, and
yeah,
I respect everyone's
yeah,
religious
mhm,
views. This is how I was raised, but Catholic, went to Catholic high school, and I never tithed as much as I should have. I didn't fully understand the concept of tithing, like how important it was. And I would hear Pastor Travis at Impact talk about it. And I really dedicated myself to like tithing. And all these blessings just started pouring into my
was
life.
a month ago, a sermon a month ago about tithing.
He has for years that I've gone there. He a couple times a year he'll talk about it,
Okay,
and the importance of it. It's like you're given all these blessings in life and you can't give back 10% to God and
yeah,
to others. You know what I mean? And when you start doing that, I promise you, blessings just rain into your life. If you
yeah,
consistently do it, I just from those times on, I just things always got worked out.
oh yeah, no, oh 100%. When
You'd go through
yeah,
summer and it's like a little bit slow because it's 120 degrees here, and everyone that visits Arizona really kind of avoids here, and you're a business
yeah,
owner. It always worked out
oh yeah,
because God was like, "Listen, man, I got you." So, um, that's those are my beliefs with that, and it's truly powerful.
100%. I agree because
Being stingy with
yeah,
things that were given to you, they weren't yours to begin with; they were
mhm,
given to you,
yeah.
and you're going to be stingy with it. I mean, you're creating bad juju for yourself. So,
Yeah, literally. Well, and it can be taken away like that,
yeah,
and for me, when, like, Man, I I moved here and I went to a church and they really taught me the importance of tithing. But when I left that church, I was just like, oh, for weirdly enough, I was like, great, I don't get to I don't have to tithe anymore. The first sermon I went to at Impact was literally about tithing, and I'm like, I can't get away from tithing, huh? So
Here's the other
yeah,
thing to open people's mind about that I hear people negatively talk about tithing. Oh, yeah, you're going to give money and your pastor's going to have this nice car, or
yeah,
oh, your pastor's doing this, or this guy or this woman at your church. Listen, you have a drug addict, if you have a drug problem, you're tithing to a drug dealer.
yeah.
If you're an alcoholic, you're tithing to a bar, to an alcohol company, whether it be Budweiser, whoever, right? If I have
Never heard it like this. Yeah,
if I love to work out, I'm okay paying over 10% of my money to food prep and supplements. That's not so.
yeah. That was the mindset, and he was talking about Starbucks.
What's important to
Yeah,
us in life, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, sure, there has been people in our history in the ministry that have taken advantage of things, and we all understand that. And you know what? I just that's for God to take
yeah.
up with them, and they have to
Oh
live
yeah.
with that. But a pastor deserves to be able to feed his family, right?
Mhm.
I being close with those guys at Impact, I see firsthand what it takes to operate a church and the amount of
Wow,
stress.
that's a lot.
And you have
Yeah.
every human being that attends there, they're bringing on their life stuff onto you.
Oh yeah, I bet,
And
100%.
you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
have to absorb that and help people, and it's draining.
No, it
Taking
is.
on everyone's problems it's hard work.
Dude,
And I learned that as a
yeah.
fireman. All day you're running on calls, and all day you're hearing negativity.
Mhm.
If they're not calling you because they're having a party, they're calling you, it's the worst day of their life. They're calling
Yeah,
911, right? So for 24 hours, it's I'm sick, my lungs, I can't breathe,
yeah.
I'm shot, like, you know what I mean? And all day, and then you get done and you're just like, where did my energy go? I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm active and I'm a fit guy. Well, no, you're actually emotionally drained.
Yeah,
So
I hear you on that.
yeah.
It's no, right, exactly about tithing to, like you said, to alcohol and stuff like that, man, when you said, like, you tip your service people more than you tip God, I was like, "Dang, he's right." So, once he said that line, I'm like, "I'm committed to tithing again." Even when I thought I was done, I wasn't done, and
I
that
noticed when I
person
started
yeah,
tipping people that served on me and my family more too, it's just my life even more opened up
yeah.
for the better.
Oh, yeah.
They're taking care of you and they're working hard for you. Giving to others will just bring on.
You gotta give.
I believe in it, man.
You gotta give,
Correct.
it's called that giver's gain, If you give and man, like, not even just money, but, like, I used to work in the service industry, and when a customer was really nice to me emotionally, like, "Oh, man, this was awesome, like, this was the best coffee, like, you're great." That for me, like, was, like, as cheesy as it sounds, was worth way more than a $2 tip.
While we're on this subject
Yeah,
too, I really look up to Dutch Brothers as a company, and I
yeah,
actually try to extrapolate some knowledge from them. I even went there one day and got a coffee and was like, "Do you think your manager would let me just shadow for a day? I don't want to work here. I'm not trying to compete and open another coffee
yeah.
place. I'm in a totally different space. But the way that you guys, I have not been to a Dutch Brothers anywhere where the employee doesn't have the same energy and happiness. They treat you with respect, and the product I get tastes
It's
exactly
the
the
coffee,
same no
yeah.
matter where I go." And
What
I'm like, they are one of the few companies that they expanded and franchised, and they somehow kept their model intact. And
like
I
In and
really,
Out. What
I love it.
okay, I used to be a manager for Dutch Bros for 4 years, and the first stand in Yuma, Arizona, I opened that with a crew of 30 cool people.
So let's
So
take that. You
what
take anyone
question
on the street in Arizona and go, what do you think your experience at Dutch Brothers in Yuma is going to be? They're like, oh, it's going to suck. It's Yuma.
No,
No, it's not. It's the same.
great.
I've been to one in Bullhead City. My brother's got a house up
Yeah,
there.
it's the same.
Great experience. Like, I mean, the people were, hey, how's it going, man? How's your day
It's a
going?
good culture.
And not only that, one time I accidentally had the tip preset. You can preset
Yeah,
on
on
the
the
app,
app, yeah.
and it was $2, which is a terrible tip.
Mhm.
It's okay on a one cup of coffee or whatever, but I meant to tip more. And the guy goes, hey man, is the tip okay? And I said, yeah. And I didn't even think about it. And I went back to like finishing a text or whatever. And he was like, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And he was all pumped up about $2.
Yeah.
And most people would be like, $2? That's all you're tipping me. So that was another thing I took from Dutch Brothers. I'm like, man, these guys have a great attitude. And what does that make me do? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna put a 10 in here
Yeah.
in the bucket that you guys keep on.
Well, I before all my memory of Dutch Bros like goes away when I'm old. Like, what questions do you have? Because I still have a lot. Like their core values, like we put it in our business. Now they're not 100% the same because again, like I was in it for 6 years, and the corporate structure not my favorite, but the way they treat their employees and the way they uplift their employees, that right there is golden, and that's where how they get that same service wherever you go. So, I mean, what questions do you have? What questions would you ask
Well,
that manager
honestly,
over there?
a lot of them mirror the fire service, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. The fire service is going to promote from within. They're not
Mhm.
going to hire a guy from a different department that
Yep.
wants to transfer.
Do
That's
that.
like a rare thing called a lateral transfer. Some cities do that are smaller and don't have the resources, but your big municipal fire departments, they promote from within. So they teach from within. I believe that culture is very powerful. Number two, I feel like when during the hiring process, I'm going to teach my employees how I want the business, like vitamin therapy, right? Can I be around you for 8, 10 hours? Can I go run mobile IVs with you to a party at the W? And can you sit and like literally have great conversation?
Yeah.
The guys we went on this morning, there was like 14 of them. You guys are like the coolest people to hang out with. We had so much fun having you. Like, I love to hear that. Are we fun and polite and kind to be around? And then the rest of the experience is going to be even better, right?
You know what one of my managers said when they were hiring me to for the traveling thing? They hire people that if you like if I'm interviewing you, I want to make sure that if I we were at an airport and we got stuck for 12 hours, we'd have a good time. Like I want to make sure I hire that person.
Bingo.
If I feel like I can't hang out with you at the airport for for 12 hours, it's not a good hire because dude, you're on a way to go travel somewhere away from your family, away from like everything that's normal. And now you're with all these random people. Like my first event I went to, I didn't know anyone, but they're all cool. And unfortunately, like great, there's no delays. But dude, if I felt like I couldn't be with someone for like 12 hours, like that's a lot. And realistically, I won't be with them for 12 hours. There's not a good fit.
So we got Sam there, who
Yeah.
was with me from day one. Sam is one of my best friends.
Sam's dope.
Kayla is another one of my very close friends, and she runs our aesthetics in her company, Luxury Skin Scottsdale. Kayla's daughter and I sit next to each other in 5th grade. They're best friends. So we have already a family dynamic going on here. Dr. Ann is literally like the mother hen of the office. We all respect her and all her knowledge, and she oversees a lot of things that are important to us. So, and then Paula started with me from the beginning too. And they're like family to me, and I care about their lives and if they're happy and if things are going good for them. And
Do you know their goals?
I know a lot of the goals that they plan on doing, and that's important to me. And the only anguish I have sometimes is I want to give them everything. I'm like, I want to open 10 locations and give them each one of their own, and I want them to be an owner, and I want them to flourish. You know what I mean? That's literally how I feel.
Yeah.
There was never one day in me opening a business where I've seen certain young guys and yeah, man, I want to get a Lamborghini, and I don't care about any of that, man. I just want to take care of my child, and I want to see people that I care about win in life, and I would like them to do it with me and us do it together. And we love
that's how it is. That's how it should be.
We love people coming to Scottsdale, enjoying their time here, and being able to let them or help them enjoy their trip while they're here. Some people, party a little too hard and it can ruin your trip, and we try to help them with that. Or any of our clients that live here, when they get sick, we don't like seeing them not feeling well. So we want them to feel better. It's a part of our nurturing culture that we have at the office. So
No, I feel you, bro. And
that's my core values there.
The big thing is like I know where my business partner's goals are. Like I know what he wants and he knows what I want. That's really what drives both of us. But we just hired someone, and his goal, like he wants a Lamborghini. Like the employee I just hired, he's 18. He's young, bro.
There's nothing wrong with having goals. And if that's your thing, I think maybe I'm speaking from a guy that's 45 in November.
You're 45?
In November,
Dude, IVs, look, they keep you young. Look at this. That's dope.
I found that when I was aspiring for those things, it didn't make me happy. I'd get the cool
Yeah,
truck and I'd have it for a couple months. But we've learned that any religion talks about that. I don't care
exactly.
what religion you believe in, they talk about the newness of possessions. It goes away eventually. And that's a fact. As you get older, you're like, I've had the cool clothes, I had the cool, lifted truck. And 6 months later, I'm like, oh, the new model's coming out.
Yeah.
There it
It's
is
always
right
a it's
there.
always a new
You're
one.
never happy as a
Yeah,
human. We're always
it's
like,
always a
it's
new
like, when do we find happiness? So you gotta happiness for me, man. Like seeing my daughter laughing and happy and
winning
winning
ju
in
yeah.
jujitsu and like watching her grow in jujitsu. Those are like beautiful things for me.
That's how it should be, man.
Yep.
And like for me, I'm just like, I guess my mindset was, look, bro, your goal's a Lamborghini. I told him straight up, you're not gonna make Lamborghini money with this, but if you help us, it's gonna be so cringy because I swear every startup says this, but if you scale and grow with us, like we'll get you there. Because I don't know if you've seen Andy Elliott, his group,
Mhm.
man, they grew a massive corporation and within 2 years. And I know that Andy Elliott poured into his guys so much that they grew that big. And
That's what I'm talking about with mine
yeah,
is guys, we're not going to do it overnight, but if we
mm-mm,
all look out for one
together.
another and we grow together, it's going to happen for us all
Yeah,
down the road.
it's not a me situation. It's like literally team. It's a team thing, right? And that's how I see whoa. That's how I see my business. That's how I see my business with my business partner and I and our new employee.
Mhm.
Shout out Jason. And that's why I
What's up,
see it.
Jason? I haven't met you yet, but
Yeah,
I won't meet
he's
you soon.
dope. He's man. He just graduated, young and hungry, and um, he's he was really shy. But I saw it in him. I'm like, bro, you're gonna be a savage. I know
That's what all of us at the office loved about you guys was we
us.
yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
you want your marketing person to love your business like you do. And if they don't, they're not going to capture
Yeah,
the humor, the culture, the vision that we have for the business. If it's just a paycheck to I'll just put these posts out or whatever. Um, you know, it
you got bro. I love my
so we love
yeah.
people being ambitious and like, man, we love like this stuff. It helps us, it energizes us.
Oh
And
yeah,
like yesterday when you came over and we created some awesome
it was
content
funny. Yeah,
and all of us were laughing and it was so fun and we love like I learned early in my journey, I thought everyone wanted just a lot of informative stuff. Well,
mm-hmm.
unfortunately, people don't have the time. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people aren't going to sit and read on, a certain vitamin. It's going to be dry for them. But you post a funny reel that they can relate to, and all of a sudden they're into your brand because you made them laugh and it made their day better. I've had people DM and be like, dude, that Barbie
Yeah,
IG. This one guy's like, that literally made my whole day. This one lady was like, I was in a bad mood and that literally made my whole day. And I watched it like 8 times. And I'm like,
it's funny.
man, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Like, I love that we're making people laugh and somehow tying it into what we're doing.
You can always, and that's the power of a brand, bro. Like, I don't like when business owners are like, "Oh, I need social media to get business." I'm like, "No, you need social media to have that brand so that when people do need your service, you're top of mind because you have a good brand, right?" Like for me, I'm from Oregon. I'm a Nike guy.
Sure.
When I need shoes, like I think of Nike first. Like even they're ratted up, but my sandals, they're Nike, right? Just one, I'm from Oregon, and two, they have such a good brand and a good brand instilled in Oregon where like if I ever get shoes, it's Nike, right?
Mhm.
And that's the first thing I think of. Now there was times where I couldn't afford Nikes, so I just got like Pumas or Reeboks. Nothing wrong with that. I love Reeboks, but every time I want a shoe, it's Nike because of that brand right there,
Sure.
right? So, um, I'm now teaching business owners, bro, if over a long period of time with social, if you want, if you want to like have good business on social media, it takes a while to have that good brand, which you guys did do that. And I'm coming on the tail end of that because now I'm just like, well, they already have this good brand. Let's put more reels out. Let's Canva post, which I'm excited about
Yeah.
because man, I was up. I think I made like 4 reels for you last night, just giggling, like making these
Some
reels.
of them were funny.
Yeah,
We're excited to like put them out.
well, we made a Goodfellas one. That one's gonna be cool too. This with
That's
the CBD.
so that's just one of my favorite movies
Yeah,
ever. So I just can't wait for that one.
yeah,
So.
bro. And just seeing that, and then what I do tell business owners, I'm like, if you want leads, like you have to literally spend money to Facebook and Instagram and Google, so you can pull those customers in your door, right? Because
Mhm.
you gotta be on top. And unfortunately, you do got to pay these Goliaths money so that you get in front of more audience that would be your customer. But over the long period of time, if you have that strong brand, like you're golden, and you already have it, like you're at a good spot. You're having people like communicate with you. Some business some business pages have no one communicate with them, you know?
I'm absolutely not an expert in that field. You guys are, and it's perplexing for you at times. When I first started out and it was really me and a couple employees, very part-time, I'd be scrolling through and like, why are we not getting the engagement that I want?
Reach, yeah.
But I'm like just doing static posts and I'm like, okay, I'm noticing that reels are very trendy right now,
Mhm.
or sexuality. Unfortunately, you'll see
Um,
a brow place or something and the girls are just beautiful and sexy and engaging. And you're like, well, that's why they're getting likes, because guys are like,
yeah.
are guys going and getting brows? No.
No.
Or I mean,
I will.
lashes.
I'll get brows. I will.
I bet there's dudes
Yeah.
out there that are like, I'm gonna go get my lashes done because that girl works there. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
it sells.
Yeah.
It is the way the world works now. But the main thing that I extrapolated from that was that the reels and the humor was
Mhm.
getting those people doing that were getting a lot more engagement. Um,
People wanna get entertained on social media. That's why. They wanna get entertained.
it's it's a break from reality, and it's sad to say that, but a lot of people escape on IG and just want to laugh or look at a funny meme and just try to forget about the stuff going on in their life. So
Well, I mean, so many people are like, there's a lot of sick people out there, and like, you can look at someone and not tell that they're sick, but they may have something that they're sick of, whether it's with them or sick, literally like illness, and they just want to ignore it
where you
on social
contribute
media.
the sickness going on right now?
I mean, a
Do
lot
you
of it.
feel it's
I think a lot of it's mental health. I think a lot of it's the news. Like I'm a big believer in like I believe in God, and I think there's a spiritual force out there and energy that like if you keep consuming bad stuff and bad thoughts, you're gonna get sick.
and Travis talked about that a couple weeks
Oh,
ago
really?
also,
Okay.
right? He
Yeah.
said
The news.
absolutely avoiding the news. Yeah.
No news.
I am guilty of that, and I need to improve in that aspect of my
Yeah.
life. I'll read things, and it gets me hyped up.
You
I'm
get
like,
amped
"Man, I
up.
can't
Yeah.
believe like they're doing this to us in this country." And part of it's a passionate thing for me because my father served in Vietnam, and my dad's side of the family's from Detroit, which was the heart and soul of the country.
Yeah.
Our auto factories and our union workers, and that's gone, man. It's like it's sad,
Mhm.
and so
Well, I also think the medications that people are putting us on aren't helping. So my wife, she had seizures, and they like without even looking at her, they go, "Oh, you have seizures? Here, take these 4 pills uh twice a day." And I'm just like, "Bro, it was like a 30-minute like just sit down in front of the doctor." He goes, "Seizures, boom." And
yep,
I think the body can heal itself.
absolutely.
I'm a firm believer of that.
Clearly, I'm a huge believer in that, and I honestly never get sick, and I just eating the right things and vitamin therapy. But I've had the same experiences. As healthy as I am as a human being, I've gone in and told the doctor before, like, man, dude, I train jujitsu like 4 or 5 days a week, and I still lift, and I'm in my mid 40s. I'm still grappling with like young 20-year-old guys and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I think I pulled my back. Oh, here, dude, I'll give you some Vicodin. No, I don't want that. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'll just give you some Vicodin. And it's like,
You
there's
don't need
just a
that.
motive, in my opinion. Um,
I agree.
so I connect with people that I do not hate on medicine. It's, can we fix it holistically? And then if we're at our rope's end, then let's do some medication.
Yeah.
I get that, but I agree with you. I believe there's so much power in sunlight.
Yeah.
So
Sun, bro,
many
you need to put
people
out some
just don't
sun.
get out in the sun for 10, 15 minutes even. Your eyes can absorb sunlight. Like, you just need to get out and or just sunbathe for 10, 15 minutes. I'm like a wind-up toy. I
Yeah.
lay out in the sun 15 minutes, just like I'll be
And you're
energized
good.
for like well into the evening. You know what I mean? If I don't, I'll notice it a little bit.
Well, I've also heard that, like, this is from, like, someone at a party, but I heard that a lot of people in Arizona don't get a lot of sun during the summer because we're inside all the time because we don't wanna be
We're
outside.
like in Alaska in the winter.
Yeah.
We're an extreme state. The weather is very extreme. Are you going to go lay out in 120? No, you'll get crisp, right?
No.
However, I've noticed, I've had some friends experiment with it where they consciously started getting off seed oils in
Oh,
particular,
seed oils are
and then they
horrible.
noticed that they weren't getting sunburn anymore. And we're talking about individuals that
Yeah.
are more fair skinned.
Mhm.
They were saying I was out in the sun way longer than I'm accustomed to, and I didn't get burned. It's like,
Really?
which is,
I mean, I'm an avocado oil guy. Is there
yeah.
any other oils that you would recommend
My
or
mom literally like bathes in coconut oil. She thinks like for bleeding gums, for skin, for
coconut?
hair, coconut. Well,
Coconut's the healer.
she's part Hawaiian, so that's
Yeah.
why. But she's Italian too, so she loves olive oil.
Olive oil,
Yeah,
yeah.
those things are great. You have to just pay attention. Even some olive oils now they're mixing with seed oils, so you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
pay attention. I mean, it's just
Look at
always
the
feels
back.
like you're under attack all the time. Like you
Yeah.
have to pay attention to everything.
Man, well, I used to and what you put in your body is serious too. So, like, I used to I like sweets, right? So I would eat the breakfast. I'll just eat like Eggo waffles in the morning and cereal, like literally like eating like a child in the morning, right?
Sure,
And then I realized I feel like, and I would still go to the gym, but after that, I'm like, I feel like crap all the time, and my health wasn't where it is now. I literally haven't gotten sick in, like, I got COVID in 2020 or 20. It was 2020, right, when COVID was the thing. I got sick during COVID. I didn't feel it. I was like, I just I literally was going on runs. I was in Utah, so no one was, like, yelling at me for going on runs.
sure,
I was literally going on runs outside, COVID positive, um, and then, I was like I was fine, and I think the reason why is because I got my like, I was eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. I ate, like, spinach, like, I don't know if I was watching a lot of Popeye or something, but I love spinach. I literally have a bag of spinach, like, right over there. I'm just, like, munching on it like it's chips. Um, I stopped eating sugary cereal. Like, sugar and me, like, aren't best friends anymore. Like, I used to love sugar, and now I don't. But I do love is honey, and I think raw honey is, like, a secret medicine that someone's hiding, but, like, just, like,
Brazilians have been using it for hundreds of years for allergies, for illness. Honey is like the go-to
for, like, wounds.
for wounds.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I absolutely love honey, and uh,
Now you
one
tell
thing I've been
yeah.
researching more because like some of the new fad diets, not new, but like the carnivore diet, which I love and I do it and I
I
love
love
it
meat.
because I'm not sore ever and I feel way better. It may not be for everyone. And honestly, when I started cutting a lot of veggies out, my bloating and I just felt way better.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm not
You're not
advising
recommending it to anyone, like, for your personal yeah.
no, but I've heard some people, like some naysayers, go, well, the carnivore diet is high in sugar because you're eating fruit and honey all day. And your body doesn't process that type of sugar the same way. I've seen some guys on the forums be like, how's that any different than drinking Coke? It's the same thing. You're just putting sugar is sugar.
Yeah.
And it's, so I continue to research that and see, read studies on whether that's true or not. But
Yeah.
the way my body reacts to that, I don't believe that to be true. There's different types of sugar. The other thing is the reason that's a hot topic is because what feeds cancer cells is sugar. That's the
Oh,
energy
I
for,
didn't know that.
I mean, for cancer cells, sugar is a huge
Interesting.
player in cancer cells developing and growing.
Mhm.
So that's why the subject of sugar is always huge. They're talking about diabetes and all that. So many negative things happen once you develop that. So that's why it's a sensitive subject for a lot of people. Um, but I just don't think that
So what's your diet like? Like, what are you eating
I
right now?
honestly, it's boring. I have people in my life, they're like, dude, can you just like eat something else? Like, you don't want pasta? No, because for me, I eat a bowl of pasta and I want to take a nap. That's not a
Yeah.
normal reaction to me. It's
Oh,
noon and I need to take a nap. That's not normal. So I eat whole eggs, free range eggs. I eat
okay.
raw cheese,
Both the
raw
yolk and the
cheddar.
egg white, both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I do raw dairy, so raw milk. I do basmati or jasmine rice occasionally,
You go to
sweet
Sprouts?
potato. Yeah. Trader Joe's, all that. And then I eat organic fruit and I eat organic honey. And
I love honey.
that's it, brother.
Uh,
I
uh,
really don't. And then my cravings just
yeah.
completely went away, which blew my mind. Grass fed beef, obviously. I look at the
Yeah.
sourcing of chicken and stuff. I like chicken. There's a lot of negative what they talk about, but if you can find chickens that aren't eating corn and soy, I think chicken's fine
Good
too.
for I mean, what,
Greek yogurt.
what are the negative things they're saying about chicken? Because for me, I'm just like,
Well, if you take a
just
chicken breast and you're
yeah,
seeing white strands of fat and stuff in there, that means that they're being fattened with corn and soy, which can
interesting.
be they can elevate estrogen, which for a man is horrible.
Yeah.
So that's
Testosterone levels are, like, all-time low for
yeah,
for all
you
kind
really
of
don't want to mess with that.
yeah.
And then if you look at a free range chicken or one that's allowed to run around and just eat bugs and kind of, and I know that sounds gross, like, oh, I'm going to eat a chicken that eats bugs, but it's, you look at the chicken breast, there's zero fat on it. There's zero marbling or any striations in the
Okay.
chicken breast. And and now we're dealing with bigger subjects of certain individuals out there that are creating engineered foods, and we're having to dodge that in the grocery store. Like, is this an engineered chicken breast?
Oh,
Like,
no.
I saw a watermelon the other day on a video that was cut open. And the guy's like, this is a fake watermelon I bought at a certain chain store. And he took the slice and he was like wiggling it, and it was like rubber.
Oh, really?
Watermelon wouldn't do that. A real
No.
watermelon would break. Like, if you shook the piece or
Yeah.
whatever, it would shatter. And it had no seeds. So as he's cutting it, he goes, this watermelon has 0 seeds in it. This is wild. And he cut all the rind off and everything, and he had the melon, and then he was shaking it. It was like a piece of rubber.
It's jelly.
Yeah, it was
Just
he said
gelatin.
this is an engineered fruit.
And they're not telling us. Well, like, they're like, does it say it's an engineered fruit or is
I need to get better at this. From my understanding, there's some labels that educate you that
yeah.
it's been engineered.
I'm just scared. And again, this is my fears, and I try not to give in to my fears, but I'm scared of 2 things that my wife's like, "Bro, like, why are you even scared of that?" But I'm scared of, like, trash flying in the wind, like, as a normal thing. So, I don't know if you're driving, but sometimes when you drive, you'll just see, like, a random bag flying around. I'm scared that that's gonna be, like, a normal thing where, like, you'll just see, like, trash flying around. That's what I'm scared of, 1. 2, I'm scared that there's not gonna be any more meat, and people are gonna be like, "Well, it's smarter to just do this genetic stuff because we need to feed more people, and we're not gonna, this is the easier way to do it, and it's eco-friendly." I'm just like, "But we need, like, we've been living off meat for our whole as long as humans have been alive, I feel like." So,
What
that's where
saddens
I'm
me
at.
now about society is that, um, with certain aspects, is that you'll bring up a subject that is of concern to you, and
Yeah.
it's easier to be like, I don't want to think about that right now, or I don't get involved in like reading that stuff. Okay, that's fine. And we had just talked about church, how you should avoid the news. However, ignorance is bliss to a certain degree, but when we start
Yeah.
repeating historic things from the past, evils that have been done, whatever, and we avoid them and we ignore them, so what? You just figure it out when everything crumbles? Or I just think you need to kind of be like, this stuff is going on right now. And when is people gonna say enough's enough? Like, we're done doing this.
I li like, being real, I think that there's a lot of stuff going on inside people's personal lives, and that's taking their focus, right? Like,
Well, we have a great life in America.
yeah.
Even if we're
We have
in
a great life.
even
Yeah,
if we're in bad economic times, other countries are like, dude, your worst times are like,
they're good, but, like, think about it, like, a lot of like, in America, you'll say, like "Oh, how's your day going?" A lot of people say, "It's okay," but, like, in their mind, they're thinking of so many other things, and that's right, they should like, that's their
I
life.
really try to fix
Yeah,
that as an individual because when you do business and stuff,
yeah,
bro, I got people texting me all day, bro, can I get in for an IV? I'm not feeling good. Oh, I got this going on. And they're hitting me with questions. And
yeah,
I'm like, I need to be present. I'm talking to somebody. And I know people like that. And it really turns me off from wanting to be friends with them. Well, like, you're
exactly.
talking to them, you're like, hey man, how's your day going? Huh? Oh yeah. And
It's
you're
good,
like,
yeah.
okay, I don't matter to you. And
You gotta be present in the now, right? And I think that
I don't want to be like that. And I know sometimes I have stuff going
yeah.
on, and it's something that I go home and I self-reflect on, like, hey, tomorrow we got to be better, and like,
Oh,
be
yeah.
present when someone's talking to you and give them eye contact. And I'm better than that. I grew up in a generation where we didn't like sit on the phone all day. So I need to be I constantly that's a self-improvement thing that I
Yeah.
like to try to work on.
I mean, I suck, but if I'm talking to someone and even if they have the phone in the hand, I just get a bad vibe. Because like, if, like, like, if you're talking to me and I just have my phone in my hand, you probably have, like, an inclination in your head, like, "Oh, Brandon's not paying attention to me now." Just I'm not texting anyone, so the phone is in my hand. So when I'm talking to people in,
Well,
like,
one foot
meetings.
is out the
Yeah.
door. You're over
Yeah.
here, and so you're half in, maybe, or whatever. But yes, and you open a business, and I was not experienced at all, and I don't know how to balance all of this sometimes. So I'm not perfect, and I try to get better every day, and try to get better at delegating tasks, which was hard for me when you're a perfectionist and you're like hard on yourself. It's hard to relinquish stuff to other people because you're like, they're not going to do it the same way I do it.
Yeah.
Got to get rid of that
Or if they do it
attitude. You
80%.
try to
Yeah.
get them to adopt your how you
Oh, yeah.
operate, and then you have to eventually trust them,
I
right?
mean, what's the biggest misconception about running your own business? Like, for you, like, what's the biggest conception?
Probably what we talked about. I've seen some people go, I'm just gonna round up some employees, I'm gonna pay them, and then I'm gonna dip and go have fun.
Okay.
That's business ownership. That no, it's not. It's not. I mean,
You gotta build culture.
you have to oversee
Yeah.
what's going on and make sure that it's quality standards and all of that stuff.
So
And
what's so I've been running ads for you for 2 weeks now, and the most comments I've seen are people saying that, like, IVs are not they're not good for you, right? They're like it's or they're, like, unsterile. Like, what are the biggest misconceptions about, like, your business?
people, you've seen people say that,
No,
yeah,
I'm
and
just,
I would
like,
agree.
not
Like,
on your ads, but, like, when I'm doing ads for a client, like, for
sure,
example, I'm doing an elementary school right now. I get ads on my Facebook now about elementary schools because I do research about elementary school, and the Facebook Meta Pixel is so smart that if it sees me searching for certain things, it's gonna give me ads in front of that. So
and I'm glad you
yeah,
asked that question because it is a source of like contention in my field where that is why I was passionate about opening a brick and mortar location where I actually had an office where we prepare our IVs in a medical room and where our medications and vitamins are stored in a environment that's sterile,
yeah,
and the
that's good.
medications are not stored with food and other things. It's in a medical fridge, right? And all the supplies are come from the medical distributor, wrapped the way that they're supposed to and sterile. um, I believe that's like at the forefront of what we do and wanting to provide quality to our patients. And we take it very seriously that this is it's an invasive
Yeah,
medical procedure. So that's where, the mobile subject comes up. And that's why we try to really go about it the correct way where someone's like, hey, I'd like a mobile Zack at 10 this morning. No problem. I'm going to reach out to my nurses on staff. I have a bunch. Hey, I have someone that would like a mobile at this time. Are you available? Yes. And at that time, then we prepare the IV for the client. The nurse comes and gets it, transports it to the person's house, and renders the medical
yeah.
treatment there. So that's how we operate. And
That's that
that's
okay.
important to me.
So that's good. Also, I didn't know that other people would store their food with the I
I don't know. It's
really?
not,
You think there's people doing
where's
that?
it being stored at?
I mean, in the refrigerator, but you think that people would store their food with it? That's scary, bro.
Is anyone going out and seeing if certain people are buying the correct fridges and storing it the right way?
No,
No.
bro, you're right. You're totally right about that, man.
You can come to my
Yeah,
clinic right now and go see the vitamins,
yeah.
check the expiration dates, come
I
and
mean,
look at
even
it.
in the videos, you're like, there's nothing to hide. And when I do,
And I stay close with the
yeah,
pharmacist at the local pharmacies, the compounding pharmacies. I have a very close relationship with them where I'm constantly learning from them. I've actually even had them come down to the clinic and spend a couple hours where, we all learn from them and ask questions.
that's good.
How can we improve? How can we be
Yeah.
better? You can have people actually come down and pay them to do a full walkthrough of your clinic and how you can, make sure that you're meeting standards. I mean,
You're doing something right because I feel like there's a lot of people. This is me again, outside lens looking in. I feel like there's a lot of people hopping into the IV therapy trend, and you guys, like you and your crew, are trying to educate all the time, trying to get better all the time for your clients. That's how I see it. Like, do you see yourself doing this for the next 10 years or next, like, well, how do you, what's your
I
kind of
love it. I'm
vision?
passionate about it, and I want to be at the forefront of doing it the right way. And you know, I don't spend one moment worrying about other competitors. I
Good,
just want
good,
us all to not bring negative light to the industry.
good.
So I want people to have a life. I want them to open a business. It's America.
Yeah, you can do it.
You have
Yeah,
the right to open your own business. And I don't sit and worry about what you're doing because I believe in what I'm doing at my place. If I can help them in doing things the right way, so we're all representing the industry the right way, that's important to me. And if I can help anybody with that, I'm totally open to that.
speaking about being in the forefront, you just started a CBD IV therapy drip. Can
Yeah.
you talk about that real quick? How does that
Yeah,
even
yeah.
work?
Yeah, we're excited. We're one of very few in the country that has CBD
Yeah.
IV. CBD for a lot of people, they get tremendous amounts of benefits from it, and they've
Mhm.
used it as a topical rub, or there's tinctures or whatever you can put under your tongue. Um, Again, orally, it's like how well is it absorbed? It's hard to know. So now we have IV, and it's not a psychoactive. It doesn't have THC in it, like so you don't have to worry about testing positive at
Yeah,
at
of course.
your job doing drug tests and stuff. But it's really good for anxiety. It's good for inflammation and soreness. It's good for overall mood and sleep. So the few people that we've started doing it with, they like, man, I have not slept that deep and that hard.
Really? They're getting in
Uh,
the REM cycle?
they're getting, you can tell when you get into REM, man. Like I know this from experience because all later into my career as a fireman, I just stopped dreaming and I was seeing awful things. You would think I would have nightmares and stuff.
Yeah.
I literally would dream of nothing.
Dang.
And I knew that something was not right. I wasn't getting into REM or something. And then 2 years after being out of the service, all of a sudden I started having these vivid dreams where I could wake up and literally remember the details of the dreams. And
Yeah.
that meant like, okay,
Good sleep?
I'm getting good. There's other indicators. This is a family show here, so I won't get into that. But
Okay.
there's indicators when you wake up in the morning that
Yeah.
if you're getting into REM,
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, like, I just wanna make sure, like,
you'll have a flagpole,
yeah.
in
Dog,
in your front yard.
I have the most vivid dreams, and, sleep's a big thing for me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I've always tried to make sure I got good sleep. As I was telling you, I was up till 1 AM last night, but, I I try as hard as I can to get good sleep because for me, that's very important. So, yeah, I'm excited to try the CBD,
I wanna help people with that
yeah,
too, sleep. I know how frustrating it can be, and I can give you a couple nuggets right now. Well, there's a lot of studies, some of the ones I read recently that I think 92% of people with insomnia are zinc deficient. People always think magnesium, magnesium, and
yeah,
magnesium helps with sleep too, don't get me wrong. Zinc is like
that spinach, bro.
it helps. Yep, yep. So zinc is big, magnesium helps. I have mentioned before in other podcasts and stuff about bone broth. Bone broth is like absolutely incredible
Really?
for it's high in an amino
You just
acid
drink it
called
or
glycine.
you just drink it?
Yep, it's a tea,
Oh, okay, I
a
didn't know that.
delicious like beef tea, and it was actually called beef tea. Hippocrates, the Greek doctor, and Florence Nightingale, the
Yeah.
original, she was like the goat nurse.
Okay.
She served wounded soldiers and her patients what was called beef tea, and it was boiled down bones and stuff from the marrow of the bones and created a warm tea. And they felt
That's
like it
dope.
was the best remedy for helping with so many different things, primarily gut health. And bone broth's really high in glycine, which is an amino acid that actually helps you relax.
Okay.
And we actually have glycine for IV as well. We have a IV called a stress less IV, and it's got glycine in it, and it helps a
Okay.
lot too.
So if you don't want to spend time cooking up that broth, you just
You don't have to cook it now. There's companies and there's people out there that make really good bone broth. I would highly urge you to look at the sodium content because you don't want to. I'm not anti-sodium. I love salt. Actually, salt energizes
pink
me. I actually do
Himalayan.
salt water in the morning with lemon. That actually like reduces bloating. It
Yeah.
helps with everything, and it helps actually increase blood volume when you're going to work out. So like vascularity, salt water actually is
A
huge.
dentist told me to drink it with a straw
Two
because the
two
lemon.
grams of
Yeah,
salt to 2,500 milligrams, obviously, and about 40 ounces of water, 45 minutes before you work out.
yeah,
It increases blood volume.
golden. You get a
It,
good pump.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so with the bone broth, anything over like 250 or 300 milligrams of sodium, you might wake up in the middle of the night kind of like parched, dehydrated. So lower sodium, and then ideally it'll have maybe like 15 grams of protein. Most of the bone broths out there only have 10 grams. So
Okay.
it's good if you can get a little bit more
More
of the
protein.
protein.
Yeah.
So those are the two things I would look out
Interesting.
for.
Never had it.
If you drink a cup of bone broth with like 700 milligrams of sodium, I guarantee you'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh man, I need some water.
Yeah.
And now we're interrupting your sleep cycle, right?
Yeah.
So a couple key things I would say would be there's a company called Calm that makes magnesium powder. I like their stuff. I do that with the zinc tablet and some bone broth an hour before bed.
You're knocked out.
Knocked out.
Golden, bro. All right. Okay. So, are those are those nutrients in the CBD? Same thing in the CBD
No,
IV?
CBD is just you cannot mix anything with CBD.
Yeah. Okay.
It's its own
It's its own one.
compound by
Yeah.
itself, and CBD also helps with anxiety and relaxation and stuff
Yeah.
too. So the main thing I noticed was inflammation and
I can't wait
soreness.
to try it.
Yep.
I told you I'm scared of needles, but you have the only one. Like you have, I think in Arizona probably, or one of the few in Arizona, and you're like right next to me. So I'm like, I gotta go try it out.
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
I'm scared of needles, like really try it out. And I have
That's a
tattoos.
very
Yeah.
common thing. I mean, I've never had anybody go, I love needles. I can't wait to get poked. You know what I mean? We really pride ourselves in trying to have the best IV skills. We understand that, if you and I get in a car wreck and we go to the ER, I don't have a choice. I'm in the ER and they poke me 9 times. I don't have a choice, right? You're coming to me and you're paying for a service. It's really important to me that we try to do the best job that we can. And so I hire people
Yeah.
that have I like to hire ER nurses that they're in the ER doing 10, 15 IVs a shift, right? So they're very proficient at what they do. Flight medics and people that are very proficient.
Yeah, I think I'm scarred because I was getting my blood drawn junior year of high school, and this lady could not. I think it was after the 5th one. She's like, "We got it," and I'm just like, my arm is like so much pain right now.
Anyone that's had that experience, it scars them for life. I've had it too. I had someone try. I have huge AC vein here. It's
I see
called,
that.
and I had a woman miss me 6 times, and I was like,
Yeah,
and then the doc comes, he's like, oh, of all the people you could have missed, this guy has an IV clinic, and she was sitting there like, and
yeah.
I wasn't happy. I actually had to take the needle from her, and I did it on myself.
You did it on yourself?
Yeah, right in front of her. I'm like, I don't
Dang.
understand how you miss this, but
That's bad, man. Well,
if I wasn't used to being in the industry, I would have been traumatized. I already was.
bet.
I was like, how do you miss 6? I don't know, but
that's a lot. I mean, I don't know. I'm cool with tattoos because usually I'll just like, I know.
well, I can tell you
Yeah.
what happened actually in COVID. They didn't allow students to go to the hospital to do their clinicals. So the people were graduating.
They've never done one,
Never done it.
and they've graduated.
That's scary.
So they have the experience, but they don't.
I understand we were under a stressful time and all that, but that's scary to think like, wow, you didn't.
They're out there right now.
When I was doing clinicals as a medic, I went through my fire department, and then they threw us back on the trucks, but you were being monitored, and then you were given this book of criteria that you had to meet before you could be signed off. It was a big book, and it was like you had to have 10 pediatric codes, meaning a kid that is under cardiac arrest. You had to have 40 IVs successfully started in the field. You had to meet all these criteria and be signed off by a captain before they would release you. And so that made you proficient at what you're doing. And then it's under stressful situations where it's like, we need this IV ASAP.
Well, once you do it for a while, bro, you'll get good at it. But 0 times and graduating and having the qualifications, that's not good.
No.
That's not good. Dang. I mean, the least they should do is go back and make sure they can do it, right?
It's not fair to the poor students that, because it's like
it's
getting taken out on them, and they didn't have a choice.
No,
they're
it's not like
actually
they
eager
asked.
to learn, and they want to do the skills. They just need someone to teach them. So
yeah, dang, that's I totally didn't know that. Well, now, well, you got to ask, hey, when did you graduate? If they say 2020 or up, just be like, all right, let's see how
As
this
a
goes.
consumer, it's your right to ask somebody, what is your background? That's your right to
Yeah.
ask that. Even if,
I'll say that when I get a haircut, bro. Like, what's your background?
you're not going to go pay a personal trainer a couple grand a month and be like, hey, like I was at LA Fitness doing sales, but I didn't train. It's like, okay, well, do you have a degree, kinesiology? Do you have a CSCS
Yeah.
certification?
Yeah, no.
You're
Yeah.
going to ask, right? Before you spend that kind of money, like,
have
what's your
to.
background? Or a
Yeah.
nutritionalist, same thing. Like, there's bodybuilder dieting. That to me is not effective because that worked for him.
Yeah.
Bodybuilders are the best at understanding their body.
Mhm.
It's a sport where you're consumed with yourself, right? You know, if I reduce my carbohydrates, but I'm going to get shredded, right?
Exactly.
That doesn't mean it's going to be that way for you.
No, our bodies are different.
Yeah, your genetics and your ethnic background, cultural stuff,
Everything.
all has a factor in that. So I always used to laugh at the gym. Like, sure, there are some people at the gym where they'll work with some clients and get some success because they respond kind of to the similar things, and
Yeah.
that's great. But obviously, it's good to have a nutritionist that's very educated
Yeah.
and works. I noticed like some of them that work with diverse groups.
Mhm.
Like if you have a nutritionist that has diabetic patients, that has senior citizen patients,
Vegan
that has
clients.
bodybuilders, they know how to like. There's a girl at my gym that at jujitsu. Her name's Rose. She's awesome. She actually went to the UFC facility and she interned
Oh,
there,
that's
and she
dope.
was working with fighters cutting weight. She's
The
awesome.
beast.
And she was working at county with diabetic patients and stuff. She's dialed in.
She knows. That's good.
She's dialed in.
That goes back to your question. Like, ask for the background. Like, no one hires me like without knowing my background in marketing and social media. Like, great. Like, I'm fortunate enough to have a great portfolio and show people like this is what I did for these people.
Well, you showed me the law firm, and I thought it was so freaking cool. I'm like, how boring and dry is
divorce.
law?
Yeah.
And divorce.
Yeah.
It sucks. And it's negative. Like getting divorced, I'm going to lose all my assets, right? And on that IG, you have this husband and wife attorney talking about the top 5 careers that are cheaters. And I'm like, dude, that's genius. That's genius. So, unfortunately, it had firemen in there. And, if you were a fireman, you always have to defend that stigma. Oh, you're a fireman? It's like, there we go.
Here's the secret behind that is, bro, we did 60 videos and that was video like 47 of the list. And then we just posted every day. 4 times a week. And then they're at 300 followers and then they're at like 500, not any traction. And then we realized, and then that video went out and it got like 30,000 views. And we're like, oh, people like this. So, if you ever find something that overperforms, you got to double up on it. So
dude, that's a great avenue where there's so many people walking around that have legal questions that they don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
And to make it engaging like you guys do and sort of feels like it's personal, where it's answering some questions that you might have had about stuff. I think that's a really cool niche that a lot of people, most marketing people will be like, I'm not working with a law firm. How boring. I can't make any content.
They're not good. Yeah.
They're not good. But what about my neighbor that I introduced you to yesterday, Beth? She is awesome. She's so cool. She has young staff that is vibrant and energetic.
Yeah.
And you and I are sitting there thinking like a lot of people, again, interior design, like, boring. No, I'm sitting there thinking already like, dude, there's some cool stuff I can think of that would be really funny about dealing with contractors or dealing with customers that are maybe very wealthy and impatient and demanding. And you can make some funny reels with that. That would be relatable.
Caleb and I were brainstorming already. We're like, oh, we can have her react to like this horror story. We can have her react to some ugly stuff. We can like ask her opinion on like this type of designer. Cause she was saying she's well known, but she was saying like it's a guys game. And I'm like, bro, we can totally tear that stigma down because in the divorce world here in Phoenix, there's one attorney who has a team of I don't want to give it away. As a team, it's a fairly big team.
Sure.
In the local space. Mm-hmm. And my family law firm has now surpassed them on social media with most of the traffic.
Because again, it's a niche where people aren't going to think that you can make it relatable, fun, engaging, informative.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if I need something from an attorney, I guess I'm just going to call and schedule a consultation and
$200.
I'll learn then.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of free information on your guys' IG where you're like, oh, dang, I didn't know that. One of the times they were talking about car accidents, and I saw a video on that or something. And I was like, dude, I didn't,
For the divorce one or the personal injury attorney?
the personal injury. He had
Yeah.
all these informative videos, and I'm like, I didn't know that.
Man, I love those videos because not like it's not all car accidents are the same. And a lot of times people will message us and it's like, hey, like this happened to me like a year ago. Thank you. I just got with a lawyer. The goal is for them to get with us, but they're in another state, right? So we go, we're glad the information was helpful. Check with your attorney because different states have different laws, but
Sure.
this is what the Arizona attorney would say about your case. And the thing that my guy says is like he's like, this person's probably liable. So if you're the person that's not liable, you may have a case and you may get compensated for your injuries right there, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
man, I like law firms, but I'm happy we're spreading our wings to hit other people because I'm so grateful for the law firms because they taught us how to make not sexy stuff sexy, and it just makes everything else easier to make it sexy.
And I saw the same thing when years ago I got in the IV space. Absolutely snooze fest looking at the media. It was so boring. And I was like, oh God, this isn't fun. So I thought this is like a really small
Page is fun.
This is a like niche for us to adding Kayla was one of the best decisions too. She's
funny.
So funny.
She's funny, bro.
Dude, she's funny and she brings such a great energy to our office. And then she has a whole diverse set of clients that come in and then they're like, oh, you know what? I need an IV. I didn't think about that. And all of us like get facials from her and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really like a perfect partnership.
I'm having her on Tuesday, so I can't
Heck
wait.
yeah.
I can't wait for
Dude,
her.
she's so funny, man. I can't wait to hear that. That's going to be.
So the last two questions I ask everyone, same questions, is what do you hate about marketing and what do you love about marketing? So
yeah, great question.
Those are the last two questions I'm gonna ask you, and then if you have anything else to throw in there for the audience or your audience,
Sure.
because it's gonna go on your pages too. Just throw it in there, bro.
Yeah.
So what do you hate about marketing?
Anything in life that you hate generally is your lack of understanding of that subject. So for me, if it was a marketing, it was just understanding the algorithms and posting times and what people respond to. And I still don't feel perfect at it. I'm lucky to have, like I said, some of the girls at the office are a lot more knowledgeable than I am. Having you guys helps me understand it better. When you're running a business, you don't have time to sit and like make videos all day. You have to do other stuff. So I try to be proficient at what's the most important information I feel like we need to get out there. So that would be that. What do I love about it?
Yeah, and what do you love about marketing?
I love the joy it brings to the office. Like when we're doing content creation stuff, everyone, it's like one of the fun days for all of us to sit and laugh, or when we're making goofy videos, it makes us think about how much we love the space that we're in. And we're like sharing the joy with other people. We're hoping to bring like some laughter into their day too, but also maybe provide some information that they didn't know. I really like when people are like, man, I had no idea that, zinc was a major thing that you're deficient in if you have insomnia. Yeah. I'm glad I could help you. That makes my day better. If someone's like, I'm sleeping better because I'm supplementing with zinc now. Awesome.
Yeah. And they learned that from one of your videos, and that's right there where you're like, you know what? Like they didn't even pay for that information. Some people would charge them, a couple $100s for that information. So
yeah,
that's good. I like that. I like your take on what you love about marketing.
Yeah, I love it, man.
So cool, man. Is there anything else that you want to bring up to the audience, whether it's your audience or my audience? If not, then we can just end it right here, and then I'll just say goodbye to everyone and say see them next time.
I just want to say thank you guys for having me on. I want to say thank you to all of our clients that support us and believe in us, and Scottsdale Living is amazing. If it wasn't for our clients, we wouldn't be around. So we're so grateful for them, and you bring a lot of joy to our lives. And just so you guys know, we're open 7 days a week. 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 on the weekends. We have a full mobile team. We have a full-time esthetician, Luxury Skin Scottsdale. We have a nice family dynamic.
Doing football on Sundays.
Yeah, we got football games Sunday. Come in and like recover from your fun Saturday night. We get so excited about holiday season coming up. Christmas parties. We have the waste management open,
Yep.
spring training, so many exciting things. This is like our time of year. As you can see today, our very first Saturday before NFL season kicks off tomorrow. We just killed it today. It
40
was
IVs,
fun. That's
baby.
insane,
Well,
man.
well, thank you guys for watching. Next guest will be our famous esthetician, Kayla, and it's gonna be a lot of good facts about your skin, acne, and just what she loves and hates about marketing. So again, thank you guys for watching, and have a good day. See you later.